Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is the BHN Scrubber Show. And on today's show, we're going to be reviewing that crazy game the Commanders played against Philadelphia. It was a home game. It was, wow, pretty crazy stuff. But a little housekeeping, real quick. If you'll join us this Friday, we're going to be doing our preview show for the Commanders are going to be playing against the Atlanta Falcons. That's a game we need to get. And that game got flexed to Sunday night. So everybody should be able to watch it. Join us here. You can turn the volume down on the game and listen to us. And then, of course, on that day, right, come and watch it. So the preview show on Friday, join us for the live reaction show, play-by-play on Sunday. And, of course, the illustrious BH will be in the chat room on that day. And welcome, BH.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here. What a game. God, man, I think we ran through every possible emotion.
Yeah.
And while you were streaming it, watching the comments, our subs, our fans that were tearing their hair out, and everything good and everything bad could have happened. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, a couple of things is, people talk about getting lucky, and there's that old thing, Branch Rickey, the old Dodgers GM, years ago, he said, hey, luck is the residue of design. In other words, you only get lucky if you do the work, and then you fall in. People who don't plan, people who don't practice, they don't really get lucky. They get a break every now and then. So this team never and man, what a time to just quit after 5 turnovers, stupid penalties, pass interference, and you do everything wrong. And they just never went away. And at the end, Eagles have only themselves to blame because we had the ball around 40, a minute left. We only had one timeout, and we had to score a touchdown. We had to. And so the Eagles are like, hey, you have the best defense in the NFL. All you got to do is stop us.
Nope.
And they couldn't do it. So, really happy. I mean, it was just amazing. It put us back right into playoff contention, which is, we've talked about it a lot. It's really important for this team, no matter how we do, even if we got to crawl into the playoffs, this team, this organization, the city, they need it. They really do. Yeah. Which reminds me, that's a 10-win season now. And they said this is the first 10-win season since 91 in Washington.
Wow.
What
Which
the hell?
Corresponds to back when they were the shit back in the day.
Exactly. They were good, and that was back then. And so, yeah, it means it's a big deal. So,
it does.
We had some struggles. There were struggles here and there. Some individual players struggled from time to time, but no one gave up. Brian Robinson, the 2 fumbles, that was crushing. But you know what? He was on the final drive. He was out there. Mm-hmm. He had 2 runs in that drive, 2 strong runs, and he also had runs, and he had screen passes and catches at the end of the game. So he kept his head in the game. He kept playing. He did not give up. And I have to give big props to Olamide Zaccheaus, man, and Jamison Crowder.
Yep.
Man, those 2 guys, they had to step up because, Noah Brown's gone. And I bet you Zach Ertz didn't practice all week getting through his, he probably did some walkthroughs. And those guys had to step up. And Jamin also had to step up and get them the ball. Like Noah's gone. Ertz is, you've got to get those guys in the mix. You just can't throw to Terry. You can't make it a one-dimensional game. And to his credit, he didn't. He included them, 4 touchdowns between them. And that crazy Zaccheaus touchdown. Remember when he was wide open?
Yeah.
That was bizarre. It just looked weird. And the funny thing about that play was there were Eagles had 12 men on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just skipped in. I really like that part. He just kind of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. He juked a guy, and then one guy kind of had him around the leg, and he kind of went out. So those guys did good. And our linebackers were awesome. I mean, God, Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu just were so all over the place. And Clelin Ferrell
Yeah.
Had the highest rated defense. He had a 90.9, which is like his best game by a mile.
Holy shit.
So I'm wondering if his knee finally has, because they rest him all the time. He rests, and maybe it caught up. Maybe now it's feeling the best that it ever has, because he was exploding around the corner. He had that kind of strip sack that I thought was going to be a fumble, but they said, Pickett's hand went forward a little.
Yeah.
That was him, and he had other pressures. We have Carl Davis, who we just picked up, another veteran. Carl Davis had a monster game. And also, I would say, even though Saquon ran on us and then broke off that big run in the first quarter, but after that, man, they did you know they had his number, dude?
Just fell off.
They just zeroed in on him and cracked on him. Well, when the PFF did their team of the week, Bobby Wagner was linebacker. He made the linebacker, 34-year-old guy. But a couple of things that was really nice to see. Kick returner, they go, do you do best kick or punt returner? One guy. And Luke McCaffrey got the highest rating.
Hell yeah, he deserves it, dude.
He did.
He fucking killed it.
He did. And even the announcers, I was watching his returns, kept saying, man, he looks close to breaking one.
Yeah.
He looks like, because he just sort of, like his brother, he's got that running back thing where he's not just running and crashing into somebody. He has this, he's like diagnosing the lanes almost as he's running. So that's special. Let's see what happens against Atlanta, man. But he gave us good field position, but boy, it'd be great to have him break one. And then I think, who is our, also, I had it here. We had, our special teams. Then they have one special teams player, just one player, who does punt, kick return, whatever. Special teams player, PFF of the week, Tyler Owens, Washington Commanders.
I called his name a couple times during the game. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. So, man, PFF, Pro Football Focus noticed too, man. They said, hey, this guy was the best special teams player on the field last week. So, props to him, because he's a rookie too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two rookies making who aren't starters, making their presence felt, man.
I think he was even hurt for a while. That's probably why we didn't see him for a minute there for a few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I'm glad he's back, man, because we need him. He's great. So anyway, I'm just thrilled that we got to win. Maybe, we've had a couple lucky wins. I don't care. I mean, obviously we got to play better, but I'm just glad to get the win and that they didn't quit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It did. It looked grim at first. We weren't doing good. A 3-and-out, and B-Rob fumbled, and I think we got a touchdown on our third drive, maybe, but Philadelphia was throwing up the points left and right. They were rolling all over us. Saquon broke that one off. But like you said, I mean, it seemed super grim at halftime. But like you said, we're only down by a touchdown. As shitty as it looked, as bad as it was, we were only down by one score. So that was okay. And so we jumped into the second half after Hurts got hurt. And so they had to bring in their boy Pickett. And that's when things started to change a little bit.
Yep.
Our defense was doing better. Like you said, Saquon slowed way down. So that was good. We kept in the game. They got a couple field goals, another touchdown, I think. And then we scored a few touchdowns. And then it was like late in the fourth quarter, it's like 3.5 minutes left to go, and Jaden threw the interception.
Yes.
I was like, oh, fuck, no. And then we're like, oh, my God. And so then the Eagles got the ball back, and then on like a 3rd and whatever, 8, Devontae Smith dropped it. A clean, perfect throw, and he bricked the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dropped it, and they had to settle for the field goal, and that gave us the ball back with a little under 2 minutes left to go. Like you said, with one timeout, they got down the field, and 7, 10 yards, 12 yards, 5 yards, got all the way down there, down inside the red zone, and then hit Jamison Crowder for the touchdown. And then the smart play was the 2-point conversion so that we would be 3 up. And so kudos to Jeremy McNichols on that 2-yard run. He deserved it.
He did.
So that put us ahead by 3 to 36-33. Now, for the Eagles, I don't know why on the kickoff they did that little. Why didn't you just catch the kickoff and go out of bounds?
Yeah.
And then try and take a more controlled approach to a Hail Mary or something like that. They had like 6 seconds on the clock or something, but they opted to take the kickoff and run with it and try and do the pitch around. I didn't understand that. So
yeah,
thank God.
Yeah, no kidding. It was going to be hard for him anyway, but yeah. And you're right though. And that, and not only was the interception was one of Jaden's worst throws ever, because it was sort of like going back against the grain, and he just threw it right to the guy. So it was not a well-timed throw. And then really he didn't look good the whole drive.
Right.
And so when we got the ball back, I wasn't negative, but I was kind of thinking, well, judging by that one, but it was like a whole new team. They got the ball, and like you said, 5 here, 8 yards here, boom. And Jamin did have some great runs. I think he had that 4th and 4 run, and then earlier in the game, a 4th and 11. So he did break their back with those.
It was a few times.
He did, and I'm glad, man. I'm glad that Kingsbury just doesn't give up on the run, even in crunch time, even when you have to drive down with a minute left. He handed the ball off twice, and then in the 2 points, he handed off again.
Yeah,
I love that, man. That just makes teams. That's just so hard on defenses, because they just know these guys will hand off. They'll run. Don't sell out for the pass. But and the final pass was a thing of beauty. We talk a lot about that in the preseason, about quarterbacks and young quarterbacks, and how some quarterbacks need to see a guy open before they'll throw the ball.
Right.
And Jaden has shown he did that quick out to Terry, where he released the ball, but then the one to Crowder was when he was coming up around. I saw it from behind, so you can picture from behind, and they had split safeties. And Zach Baum was back there, and there was a gap, but Crowder was on this side of Baum, but Jaden threw it, and he came around, boom. And right then I saw it was like a curtain closing. It was too late. Like a guy said, in the red zone, that's too much. So it was a great timing throw. And Crowder, in an interview, said it was awesome. He said when we did our red zone plays, we do our red zone offense, and we work through a lot of things and philosophies, what we're going to do, and we do plays. And he said we did that play. I got to run it, and I got to catch it in practice, so it was perfect, man. So when I saw him split, and I saw Bond there, I knew what I had to do, and it just felt so natural. I mean, it was like, oh man, almost like you could see in your heart, this is going to work. And this guy,
it did. It looked like that on the field. It actually looked like that. So
textbook. So
great stuff.
Proud of all you guys.
I'm going to bitch a little bit here, but I thought Jaden's throwing was terrible a lot of the times.
Yeah, it was.
Low. He overthrew Luke McCaffrey that one when Luke was wide open and threw it way over his head. John Bates and I think Sinnott were open a couple times, a little dump offs, and he just kind of threw it too low or threw it into the ground. He overthrew B-Rob another time. So I think he had a lot of, it's easy to overlook when you win, but he had a lot of bad throws. A lot of them were super low. Even what's his name had to catch that low pass in the end zone.
Yes,
it was Zacchaeus had to catch
that. Was Zacchaeus?
That was low.
That was super low.
And so he struggled there a little bit, but like that throw to Terry tracking that ball.
Yeah,
man, that's like superhero kind of stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That any other receiver would not have been able to track that, and that play wouldn't have worked.
Yeah,
it was a good throw by Daniels, but I think it was more spectacular by Terry McLaurin, who is a fucking veteran, for him to track that ball and to pull it in and just cross the corner of the end zone on that. Man, so many things clicked that just barely got us over the line, and I was happy for it. We struggled that whole fucking game. We really, really did, but we never gave up.
Never.
None of our people, we were bitching and moaning. Of course we were. Anybody is going to do that, but we kept saying, look, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. We can still do it. You were very good about that. Hey, look, we're only down by this. We're only down by that. And we just kept coming back and won the game. And so that's pretty exciting. I prefer a more conservative game.
Yeah, right.
Everything looks perfect all the time, but our team isn't, for a rebuild, season, they're doing good. It's pretty flimsy. If anything gives up, we don't have comeback strength. But in this game, we had that comeback strength.
We did.
We haven't had that in the past. In the past, we were getting beat. We got beat.
Yep.
But this time, we just kept coming back and won. And I will throw a quick shout out to Wheezy D in fantasy football, how she came back.
Yep.
Against Chris. Sorry, Chris. We love
Sorry,
her.
Man.
Dang, man. How she did that was incredible.
I know.
Jacobs out of the game and Green Bay's defense, who she had overperformed, had 17 points.
Yeah.
That's kind of a rarity for a defense. And so
it is. Yeah, it is rare, man. And when it happens, it pushes you. Well, hey, man, props to all of our fantasy football players. And we had a cool 8-team league, and credit to you, Scrubber.
Yep.
Is in the finals going up against Mr. Kodama.
Yep.
And we brought him in, and so good luck, man. There's a lot of games spread out for fantasy finals, don't you think?
I thought
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
5 days.
Yeah, you probably got players spread out all over.
I do. I only changed one player. I always keep my players unless I'm forced to.
Yeah.
The bye week or something, or someone's injured. But I don't just change my people willy nilly. So Zay Flowers looks like he had a Q up next to his name, so I put AJ Brown in his place, and so I'm going up against Mr. Kodama, who put up 178 fucking points.
I know, man.
Ooh,
I know.
That's big.
Yeah, he does, man. He has but that's good. Sometimes it goes back and forth. You put up a huge score one week and a low score the next, and vice versa. So good luck, man.
You can do the better. Yeah, like my guy B-Rob gave me minus fucking points.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't allow, all the picking in the world ain't gonna help you there. So
and it works in real. That's the way it is in real life. A running back gets 210 yards, but wow, he's great. Next week he gets 73. It's so hard to go week in and week out, and it really happens that way. So
that's why I just leave my guys in there. I just
leave them in.
Let them play. So.
I'm playing a guy in my NFL.com league who decided to run with Atlanta's defense. I think after they smoked the Giants and got 25 points. So I hope he's sorely disappointed in this week. So,
I don't make those knee-jerk decisions, dude.
No. Especially in the
coming
final.
up this week, we're going to be playing against Atlanta. It's kind of, what's her name? The fucking, they lost to Dallas. I kind of, if Atlanta, if we go up against Tampa Bay, in the playoffs, if it's tied or whatever, we lose to Tampa Bay because they beat us earlier in the year. So, and they lost to Dallas. I was like, why couldn't they just run the table in the fucking NFC South? And they
exactly. I know they just went out there and looked like dog poop. Really, they didn't look like they were functioning properly for some reason. That whole game was off. So that's going to be tough. So we just take care of business. I think if we beat Atlanta, I think we clinch, right?
I think
that pretty much that solidifies it. So let's beat Atlanta and then be ready to go.
And I'm hoping for more than that. I'm going to get greedy here at the end of the year. Let's hope for Atlanta, Dallas wins, and fucking Seattle or Eagles shit the bed. Green Bay won. So
it's going to be hard to catch those buggers, but we'll see.
NFC West, they're in disarray. They're shit in the bed, everybody is, except for But thankfully, the Rams beat the Jets, so
Yeah.
that was helpful. Yeah, I love it though. You don't want to win it too clean, right? You want to have a little bit of angst and anxiety about what's going on and hope that your team wins. So
Sure. That's what makes it fun, man. So,
yeah,
all right. Well, I'll see you Friday for the big preview.
yeah, big preview Friday, and thanks everybody. Have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.